How's everybody doing? I'm just working on the 2J. I'm getting all the wiring pre-wired, I guess. I'm pretty much just creating my own harness, I guess, essentially. So I thought I'd just go over, give a little tutorial on how I'm actually gonna wire this up. So let's take a look. All right, so as you can see, that's the normal stock 2JZ ECU. And as you can see, there's a lot of wires here. Like, a lot. And anybody who's gonna do this, it is a little overwhelming at first, but I'm gonna tell you honestly, if you just take your time and you go slowly, you're gonna end up not having a hard time at all. So let me explain on where I am so far. So starting up here at the coils, okay? So here's my 3 coil wires that I've pulled out. I got my coil number 3, coil number 2, and coil number 1. Now there was 2 other connectors that sat over here above this side, and those connectors were actually like this. So this is all the lines that sit up on top of the actual turbo manifold and all that other jazz. So you can see this sensor right here. Now this is for the VSV, and we also got this sensor right here, which is for the VSV. Now, I've deleted both of those for the main reason of that. Now I have no wires coming around to this side, number 1. Number 2, if you go single turbo, you don't use those anyways. And number 3, I want both these turbos to be open at the same time. So for instance, actually I'll show you all this jazz after I go over the wire. So as you can see, I still have this all loomed. I need to pull all this back, and then it comes down here like this. Goes down to my alternator, it goes down to this other actuator jazz, and to my MAF, to my O2, and right here to my coolant temp sensor. So that goes up, and then as it comes down, right here you got your vvti, red and white. And then right here, you got your first injector, okay? And then all these wires run down. Now in here, you got your oil pressure switch. And back right there, that sensor you see, that's for the NOx sensor, which is right here. And then over to the left, my wires run down. And then as you can see, I took the AC pump off. So the AC pump, I'm not running AC. And then I just brought this wire down, tucked it in nicely, and then this goes up the harness. And then this one is for the oil level switch, and that goes up the harness as well. So as you can see, that's all tapped in and goes down in here nicely. Now over to this side, you go up, you got your grounds, and then you got your loom. Now these wires here, so get it out. Okay, so these wires here, one of them is for the reverse switch, and one of them is for the vehicle speed sensor. Okay, so those both go to my manual trans, my W55. And then as this loom comes up and over, okay, it goes in here for injector number 6. This is your actual cam position for the intake cam right here. So that runs down there as well. Then you got injector number 5, you have injector number 4. Here you have your intake air temperature and your map sensor. And then your other injector, injector number 3, and injector number 2. So literally this side of the motor, that's pretty much everything. Obviously this looks like a bit of a mess right now, but when this is all, I'm gonna re-loom all this. So that's where the wiring is at so far on this side. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention, you also have this is for the starter, and then this one right here is for the NOx sensor number 2, which is right there. So this just goes right up in there. And now over on this side, like I showed you, these wires come down here, and this is the last of the wiring I need to tackle. Now when it comes to the twins, the stock twins, there's a lot of valves on here. So for instance, this valve, canister thing right here, runs this wastegate valve. And let me grab a light so I can show you guys what this actually looks like. If I can. Okay, well, long story short, there you go, you can see it. See how there's that little plate up in there? Now, when you rotate this, okay, now when I look up in there, see how that plate's open? Okay, so this little lever right here is what actually adjusts the gas to be exited out from the second turbo. So, well, obviously, and the first turbo as well. But I'm pretty sure that there's only a valve. Now, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure there's only a valve for the second turbo side. And the other one dumps all the time. Now, up here on top, we have another valve. Okay, and what this does, if I'm not mistaken, is actually opens up the manifold to allow this second turbo to actually come on. Okay, which is what those switches are that I deleted. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wire this, right, so that they're always open. And then there's actually a third one. I'm not sure if you can see it. Let's see here, right here. Let's see me moving it. So there's that third one. So I gotta take care of all three of those. And then that will be that, because I'm literally leaving all of this garbage off. Like all this is staying off. And stock blow off valve staying off because I have an aftermarket HKS coming in. And then this is that other portioning valve, or this is that other valve that opens up the manifold. Here's obviously all my pipes and whatnot. And then this is the last one that I actually need to figure out. So I'm not 100% sure which one or what this one does. I know that this sits here, okay, on the back turbo. And then this is air going out from the turbo. But when you look in here, you can see that it's closed until you open it up. So I can only assume, and I'll clarify this later, that this has to be wired open as well. So I'm gonna have to check that out. But other than that, it's coming along pretty damn good, I must say. Obviously it looks like a little bit of a mess just because, well, there's a lot of wiring there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a little bit more taken care of, and then I'll give you guys a nice little overview when I get everything all sorted. All right, so as you can see, I actually took all the loom off and braided all the lines. Took me some good time to do so. As you can see all the injectors and stuff. Really looks like a professional harness. And then after I got to a certain point, I started realizing, I'm not sure if you can see that. See how that wire's exposed? Yeah, well, that's like that on almost every fucking plug. Like literally. So, and I also completely forgot that when I ordered my ecumaster, I ordered 2.85 meter leads, like wiring leads, of like actual marked wiring. So I've done this 2 times, and I'm gonna do it a 3rd time when my wiring comes in. And I also ordered all brand new connectors from Wiring Specialties, because like as you can see for this one, there is no lock anymore, because as soon as you touch them they literally just break. And the injector ones are even worse. Over there. Like they're not even really on there anymore because they're just literally broken. So when it comes to the wiring for the 2J, literally, let's put it this way. I deleted all of the VSV, so the sequential turbo connectors, you know what I mean? Like there was a lot of them. There's probably like 4 or 5 up here, and between up there and down here. So all those are gone. So pretty much now what it comes down to is This right here goes to my 4.9 Bosch sensor for my wideband. This one right here goes to my crank sensor. And this one obviously right here is for my alternator. Okay, so alternator, crank, wideband, coolant temp sensor, and it comes up over. And then this is where it got simple. So I'm doing a TPS, not a TPS, I'm doing a drive-by wire delete. So it's gonna be drive-by cable only. So the only connector you need for your throttle body is the actual TPMS connector, not the throttle position connector, like the throttle pedal position. The actual TPMS connector, this one. And then I'm running an aftermarket intake air temperature sensor because I deleted my math. And so IAT, vvti, you got your TPS. And it comes down here, you got oil pressure sensor, which I'm actually switching out for an aftermarket one. And then you got your knock sensor 1 and 2. All 6 injectors, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This right here I had done, and this is for my map, but then I decided I'm actually just gonna run the map off of the ECU master. And the main reason I'm gonna run it off the ECU master is because, well, it has a built-in map and it's a 4-bar where this one's only a 3, so that does that. And like I said, that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, sorry. Intake cam sensor, and obviously your coil packs. Now, right now, I'm just trying to debate whether I'm gonna go Toyota Yaris coils, like single coil conversion, because this is wasted spark. So for instance, it connects right there. It sits directly on top of a coil, fires that coil, then it has a plug running from this actual coil pack over and runs that one as well. So each coil runs 2 plugs. No bueno. Because I don't want this igniter. Like, this is literally a harness for the coils because of this igniter. That's garbage. So all the stuff that I deleted is pretty much all this stuff right here. Drive-by wire, all the extra TPS, all the extra jazz. These are obviously the body loom plugs, but as you can see, that's nearly half the harness you don't need. All of that is pretty much is like emissions, making your turbo sequential, and all that other jazz. So now I have to patiently wait for my wire to come in and for my connectors to come in. So this is pretty much just gonna sit on a standstill on the wiring portion until that comes in. But as you can see, like, there isn't that many wires now. It's a nice thin harness. It's nice and easy to deal with, so that's good. What's going on, guys? I'm just sitting here editing these videos and realizing I never closed out this last video. Yeah, so when I get in the rest of the wiring and whatnot, I'm gonna actually obviously make another video of how to do it from scratch, including all the connectors and pinouts and actually pinning them and whatnot. So look forward to that coming. Also doing a video right now on stripping down the motor and regasketing it. So stay tuned for that, guys. Thanks for watching. Take it easy.